Welcome to the Impromptu Speaking for Beginners class. My name is Armani, the founder of ArmaniTalks, a media company which helps professionals and entrepreneurs improve their communication skills so they can articulate their ideas with clarity and confidence. Throughout my journey, I've recorded over hundreds of videos on soft skills on my YouTube channel, Impromptu Speaking, by the way, and grew it to a couple of thousands of subscribers. I've participated in the table topics competition for the Toastmasters Public Speaking Club multiple times, and I've worked with a variety of engineers, entrepreneurs, and industry professionals who are looking to add the coveted skill set of impromptu speaking into their arsenal so they can improve public speaking, their performance in job interviews, and with their content creation output. In this course, you're going to understand what exactly impromptu speaking skills are, why it is valuable to you. You're going to learn 3 different frameworks which will help you in your journey. And we're going to wrap up this class with a project which will allow you to practice impromptu speaking in real time. I look forward to seeing you inside, and you are going to get a lot of practical strategies that you can start applying today. Impromptu speaking is the art of speaking without any form of preparation or any form of notes. This is very different than the traditional types of speaking where a presenter has either index cards, a PowerPoint, or they've done some form of preparation beforehand. With impromptu speaking skills, you do not prepare at all. This may seem very daunting, and it should, because anytime you're doing something out of the norm, it feels a little scary. But the good part is that impromptu speaking is a lot about unlearning rather than learning. Whenever you're conversing with your best friends, you're not necessarily planning a lot, yet you switch into a different mode anytime you think that you have to impromptu speak in terms of public speaking, in terms of doing an interview, or doing a table topics talk in Toastmasters. We want to make sure that we understand that impromptu speaking is our natural state. Normally, when we are speaking on a topic that we know very well, we are not planning. We just want to keep conditioning our mind to understanding this, and the more that we keep reminding ourselves that we are impromptu speaking all the time, the stronger the impromptu speaking muscle will get. For us to apply any type of skill set out there, we need to find a way to tie it into our personal life. So you want to be asking yourself, how can impromptu speaking skills help you in relation to your life? And I want to give you some suggestions. Let's say you're someone that currently is struggling with public speaking anxiety. What's one of the main reasons you're struggling so much? You don't have to say it out loud, but I know it. It's because a part of you is wondering, what if I prepared so much for this speech, I get on stage, and I forget my entire speech? This fear haunts a lot of upcoming speakers. But if you're someone who has invested in impromptu speaking skills, then a part of you still feels good. You're like, who cares if I forget my speech? Because I know the art of thinking on my feet. I'll just adjust, recalibrate, and go. Let's say you're someone who has to do a job interview, or you have to do some sort of interview for your personal brand. Once again, if you're someone who's getting different questions thrown at you, and you're stumbling and fumbling, and you don't even know what you're talking about, then you're not representing your brand to the highest of regards. In this case, impromptu speaking skills will help you out tremendously, because different questions are being thrown your way, yet you're adjusting like a superstar. What if you host a podcast or a YouTube channel? Most content creators face the problem of running low on ideas. But if you understand impromptu speaking skills, then you're one of those rare few people who doesn't worry about running out of ideas, because ideas are all around you. You just gotta keep on finding different ways as to how this skill set will resonate with your life. You want to verbalize it, And once you do, it's going to click as to why you want to stick with impromptu speaking skills long term. There's different types of impromptu speaking frameworks out there. And in this course, I'm going to be giving you 3 particular ones. You don't have to do all 3 at once. I recommend you find one of them that resonates the most with you, and then you keep trying to exercise that particular framework and keep trying to master that. Once you find a way to master that, you can always hop onto another framework that I'm going to provide for you, or you could just stick with this one and keep cultivating it and mastering it even more. So let's get started off with the first one. You ever played basketball growing up? I did. And I want to break down basketball in the most simple of contexts. There's 3 different variables that are needed. There's a player, there's a hoop, and then there's the ball. But let's picture a few different scenarios. Let's say there's a player, and there's a ball, but there's no hoop. What happens? At most, the player could just dribble the ball around, but that's not fun. Let's switch it. Let's imagine that the player is there, the hoop is there, but there's no ball. What happens now? This is way more boring than the first time, because now the player can just probably run, try to touch the net or the rim, and that's about it. But when we combine all 3 of this, that's when things become fun. Now the player has a ball, plus he has the target of the hoop to shoot the ball into. And likewise, this is how impromptu speaking skills works as well. The hoop represents the main point of your talk. You, the player, are the speaker, and you use words instead of the ball, and you dribble it in different ways, such as using different tonalities and different ways of delivery with the words. Now here's what you want to do first. You want to get the hoop first. If you want your talk to be very short, you want to get very, very specific with the hoop. If you want your talk to be very long, you could be very general with the hoop. So let me give you an example. If I just say that my hoop is rhino, then I could be talking about that for a very long time. If I'm hosting a workshop on rhinos, then that's the hoop that I would assign. But let's say that I want to be doing a short talk rather than a couple of hour-long talk. Then what I could do is say that my hoop is, here's why rhinos are better than hippos and why you should start getting a pet rhino rather than a hippo. This is very targeted, which means that our talk is going to be shorter. Me as the speaker, now I have my target, and I'm going to use my words in different ways to bring this point into existence. So what I want you to do right now is take some time and brainstorm on a very specific hoop. Play around with a short talk, and then dribble your words in a fancy way to bring that point to life. This technique is known as the string and pearls technique, and I want you to picture a pearl necklace. There's 2 parts that are involved. There's a string, and then there are the pearls. The string is something that you cannot see, yet it gives order to the pearls. And the pearls are something that you can see. Without it, the string serves no purpose. When you combine the 2, now you got some beautiful jewelry. And likewise, with impromptu speaking, the string represents the theme of your talk, and the pearls represent the points of your talk. You combine the 2, and now you have a beautiful speech. What I want you to first do is think of the string. What is the theme of your talk? Once you get that general gist, now it becomes much more beautiful to insert the right pearls onto it. So let's say that the theme that I want to speak about is the importance of impromptu speaking skills. I'm not getting too specific, but I have a certain target that I'm setting for the mind. At this point, the name of the game is finding the pearls quickly and efficiently. If you're planning too much, then you're not doing impromptu speaking, you're doing planned speaking. What you want to do in very quick amounts of time is bring this string to life. What are you resting upon that string? One pearl, the importance of impromptu speaking. The second pearl, how to practice impromptu speaking. The third pearl, an exercise to give to the audience member. Very quick, but efficient. And now, once the jewelry is in your mind, you're just pretty much using your words to bring it into life. So what I want you to do right now is to find a string which represents the theme of your talk. That I want you to find 2 to 3 different pearls which you are going to rest upon the string. Then I want you to bring this talk into existence. The third impromptu speaking framework is what I call the pink fish framework. Did you know that the average human mind has roughly 30,000 plus thoughts a day? That's a lot of thoughts. And if I was trying to articulate every single one of those thoughts, then I'll be talking for a very, very long time. That's not what I want. Instead, I want a very structured talk. And this is where the pink fish comes in. I want you to imagine that you're in front of a very crystal clear river. The river is all flowing in one direction. And there's a lot of gray fish. You see all these different gray fish, but someone tells you that every now and then, there's going to be a pink fish that comes. And this pink fish is worth a lot of money. You don't have a fishing pole, but you have your hand. Every time that you see a pink fish, you now are going to reach for it. Okay? And this is virtually how impromptu speaking works as well. You want the river of your thoughts flowing in one direction, and this is the purpose of your talk. There's going to be plenty of thoughts coming up, and these are the regular gray fish. But every now and then, you're going to get a thought that charges up a feeling in your body. And only you are going to feel that. And once you feel that thought, you are going to put it into words. Okay? So what I want you to do right now is pick a very general stream of topic that you want to speak about. And the more personalized it is, the better. So you don't just want to say stop signs. That's a bad topic unless you make a living out of making stop signs. So if you are, say, an entrepreneur that has a business which designs stop signs, then you can say stop signs. The reason that I want it to be personal to you is because the more personal it is to you, the more that you're going to be able to spot certain feelings that you feel, that only you can feel, by the way, in relation to this topic, which makes it much easier to spot the pink fish. Allow the stream to keep flowing, keep ignoring all the other thoughts, the other fish, and keep trying to grab the pink one. This process of trying to grab is how you build your impromptu speaking skills muscle. Thus far, we've talked about a lot of different topics in relationship to impromptu speaking skills. So let's put it all together. Impromptu speaking skills is the art of speaking without any form of preparation. This is different than the traditional types of speaking where preparation is done beforehand. The thing is, we impromptu speak all the time, so it's more of a process of unlearning rather than learning. The reason that we want to learn this beautiful skill set, or better yet, unlearn, is because our world is extremely complex. And the more complex it is, the less time we're always going to have to prepare for different topics. We can use impromptu speaking skills with public speaking, with interviews, with content creation, and much more. The more that we can personalize this skill set in relationship to our life, the more likely it is that we are going to do this long term. Once you commit to doing it long term, there's 3 different frameworks that we discussed in today's talk. One is called the basketball method. This is when you pick a hoop and you bring that hoop into existence, that target, through your words. The more specific your hoop is, the shorter your talk will be. The more general your hoop is, the longer that your talk is going to be. That's method number 1. For number 2, we talked about the string and pearls technique. This is pretty much when we're trying to find the string, which is the theme of our talk, and then we have pearls, which are the beautiful elements that we add to our talk. We want to make sure that we get the string and the pearls very quickly. Otherwise, we're not doing impromptu speaking. We're doing planned speaking. So keep on practicing on finding the right string and then adding the right pearls and then putting that talk into words. And the third framework was known as the pink fish framework, where we're allowing our mind to flow in one direction with a topic which is very personal to us. There's going to be a lot of different thoughts, otherwise known as gray fish, that's coming up, but all we're looking out for is the pink fish. And the pink fish is represented by the thought that has a charge in our body. Every time that we spot a pink fish, we are going to grab it, which basically means that we are going to try to put it into words. The more that we practice, the better that we get.